talking today, an extended conversation with Laura Bramnick, who's a regular guest. She's one of the Financial Review All-Stars, and she's just been providing us over the past few years with some tremendous information on the real estate markets, and she is a real estate agent as well as a real estate attorney. So really these markets over the past few years have been so wild that I think we've started to understand the importance of having legal representation when conducting or negotiating a transaction from the start.
Yeah, what I recommend is that if somebody's buying or selling, they should at least take the time to have an hour consultation with a real estate lawyer. Many times people come to me, I make an outline, and I say, look, you don't need me. If this happens, call me, you know.
Right.
But it doesn't necessarily mean that you need legal representation that's going to cost a lot of money. It just means you need to identify the potential pitfalls and then figure out, can you do this without a lawyer? And if you can't, what is the lawyer's role?
Right.
And so it's really it doesn't have to be always expensive. I mean, that's one of the things that Kim and I believe very firmly, and her book outlines, is that we really have to be compassionate about our fees. And it's not just about, you know, how many hours can you bill and those types of things. And it's just like in any profession, you know, it's your livelihood. So you have to get paid for what you do, and you have to charge a fee that it compensates you for your expertise. But you have to be careful that you're molding the fee to the situation.
Right.
And you have to help people understand. People are scared, and many of them need a lawyer. And you have to help them almost in a mediation kind of way. In other words, active listening. Help them figure out a plan if they really need a lawyer and how they're going to pay you.
You know, and following up on what Laura just said, from a lawyer's perspective, and certainly from a compassionate lawyer's perspective, it's really fun work to spend that time in the consult empowering the client to take charge of their own life and just saying, I've got your back. If you need me, I'm here. I'll help you. But you go forward and you advocate for yourself, and let me just show you the ropes on how to do that. That's very gratifying work. We don't want to say, oh, you have to always come with us, and you have to always do, and you can't go anywhere without us, and sort of perpetuate ourselves as you have to have a lawyer and pay a lot of billable hours. That's not what we're about when we lawyer.
But I do know that it makes so much sense to do at least that consultation.
Yeah.
Because I can't tell you how many stories I've run across over the years. Of course, real estate has been a big part of the Phoenix landscape and the economy for so long.
Oh, yes.
And I don't know how many people have made mistakes in real estate. Now,
Yeah, we have a lot of vacant land here. It's not just houses and commercial. And in Iowa, they have a lot of farming. And so you have definitely very, very particular issues that you really shouldn't handle without some legal advice.
and if you get it wrong, it gets expensive fast.
Oh, yes.
And if it goes to court, it's real expensive, real fast, and that's where you as a mediator can help. I mean, first off, an ounce of prevention, pound of cure.
Yeah, a lot of times if you're getting in a lawsuit over property, and let's say you need to sell it because you need that money. In a lawsuit, that property most of the time is tied up. And so, you know, you have to know that, because you can't just say, I'm going to take somebody to court and get this resolved. If you need to sell that property, you need to know all those pieces. Do you know that your property will be tied up until the court determines what's going to be done, or until you can come to some resolution with your adversary?
You know, Laura mentioned something that's really a hot button in Iowa, and that's the family farm. So we're going through divorce, and we have the family farm that's been in the family for 100 years.
Right.
Only she's entitled to half of it, even though it was his family farm,
Right.
or a portion of it, depending on how
Right.
it all comes into play. And so how does she buy him out? Or how does he buy her out? Or what do we do? Do we leave it in a legacy for the children? Or, and if they go to court, does the judge say, sell the family farm? And then how do we go about doing all that? So somebody with Laura's expertise, with that real estate knowledge, really is critical in those types of transactions, because there's so many complexities, not only legally and financially, but emotionally. And so that's why a lawyer like Laura can, really help around not only the hard issues, but the soft issues, the people issues as well.
And you talked about the idea of fees and being a compassionate lawyer. If you look at this spectrum of expense,
Yes.
it starts with a simple consultation with Laura,
Right.
or a good real estate attorney.
Exactly.
A simple consultation, figure out what you need, what you don't need, but make sure that you've got some clue. If something does go wrong, then the next step on cost is mediation, much cheaper than trial.
Yes.
And then beyond that, then you've got trial, which can be very expensive.
Yeah, in Arizona, if the damages are 50,000 or under, you have to go to compulsory arbitration. And although that's a form of litigation, it is quicker and not as expensive as trial. So you do have several levels. And you just want to, and also, you may not be able to settle it in the beginning, but a good mediator, a good collaborative lawyer can look at the timing and say, this is the right time now. Wasn't the time a month ago, or 2 months ago, or 3 months ago, but the time is now. When maybe one of the parties have been too emotional, maybe they've done some personal growth, some personal work about getting rid of anger or fear, or maybe they've been trained and now gotten a job. And so you want to be aware that just because it doesn't settle now doesn't mean it won't settle. And you don't have to take the daggers out the entire time.
Kim, in your book, The Compassionate Lawyer, you talk about attorneys as being problem solvers.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons why I enjoy talking with Laura on a regular basis. She's a problem solver.
Absolutely.
She can head off problems before they even become problems, and then she works to solve problems that may come to her afterwards.
And that's really what lawyers were designed to do. We were meant to be those wise people with connections in the community and with knowledge of the courts and the law, and with just an ability to think outside the box on how to help people. But somewhere along the way, we lost our way. And now lawyers like Laura and I and others, and we're doing this on the law student basis, and the more wisdom lawyers or more mature lawyers, we're trying to call to our profession to say, hey, let's wake up. And let's go back and let's do it the way even Abraham Lincoln said: discourage litigation, encourage your neighbor to compromise. And he also said there will still be business enough. So he even knew kind of what was, he probably foresaw what was going to come down the pike. And we're trying to go back to that Lincoln-esque way of looking at what a lawyer is.
Kim Stamatelos, the book, The Compassionate Lawyer. Laura Bramnick, we're waiting on your book, by the way. 480
We're working on it.
We're working on it, oh yeah.
480-624-2705 if you'd like to contact Laura. 480-624-2705, and Laura's website, talkrealestateaz.com. Talkrealestateaz.com. If you need some problem solving, visit that site first, talkrealestateaz.com. Best wishes for the new year.
Same to you, Sinclair.
Sinclair, 2015 is going to be the best year ever.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.